Q. And
Mr. Travis.
Yes.
Yay!
Yes.
So, what we always do before we interview people, we start off with our questions and we move on to our topic. So,
Okay. My first question is, what job did you go to?
Job ladies first.
okay, well,
And thank you for having us, by the way.
Yes,
Thank you
thank
so
you.
much.
we
for
appreciate
bringing
it.
Thank you so much. And hello, everyone out there.
The job that I had, I was in the Navy, and I was a corpsman. A corpsman is equivalent to a nurse. So I did nursing, and I worked in plastic surgery, medical records, general surgery, vascular surgery, just different areas of the medical field. And I was actually one of the first responders for the 9/11 Twin Towers when they fell.
Oh,
So I got a chance to go to New York.
That's cool.
I am a retired Navy engineer. So what I did was, to keep it basic, is we made the ship move. We supplied water, taking seawater and turning it into fresh water. We provided lights, much like the lights you have here, but we do it on a much smaller platform, and several things in between. So that's what I did. That was what I did, and I'm retired from that. That was my job. That's what you asked me, what my job was.
So, why did you choose to work at that job?
Why did I choose the Navy? Wow.
Very interesting.
Well, I chose the Navy because at the time, the lifestyle that I was living was not pleasing to God. And also to give, at the time I was a single mom. And I wanted my son to have something better than what I had. So I went into the military to give him something better, to give him a better chance at life, to be able to travel and experience new things, and hopes and prayers that he would supersede me. And so he has. He's graduated from college and he's in the military right now. So that's why I chose it.
All right. Me, well, like anything, when you aspire to do things, you have to have money. What I was inspired to do was to be an international lawyer. That's what I wanted to do. And like anything else, there were barriers, both economic barriers as far as money and that kind of thing. So the Navy was kind of my next plan, kind of that thing where I stepped into it and just really enjoyed, you kind of do it begrudgingly. Let me say it like that, because sometimes you want to do your first plan first. This is just what I want to do. I'm going to try to figure it out. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And of course, I ended up doing it, and I'm here now. So.
If you could change one thing about yourself, what would it be?
Change one thing about, well, ladies first, or you want me to?
It doesn't.
Oh, it's on. Okay, yes, sir. Oh wow. Let's see. One thing. Well, I often think about that, and that's actually a great question. I want to say that's a fantastic question. I'm hoping that your viewers that are listening kind of thinking about that too. For me, the challenge is, Jaydin, if I change one thing, I feel like it would change everything. I mean, there are areas in anyone's life, I'm sure, that they would want to be better and do better at, and be a better husband, be a better dad, be this, be that. But I think if I was to change one thing, it would. I mean, the only thing I would change is if I could have met her much earlier in life. I would imagine that would be about the only thing I would want to change. But I couldn't think of anything else that I would want to change, because any slight difference, I would have missed her. And I think that's really, really important to me. So.
For me, pretty much the same thing. I wouldn't really change anything that I've experienced in life. Anything that would be gone would mean that I would be a completely different person. So I wouldn't want to change anything.
Okay.
like a loaded question,
Oh, she's-
Kyla, because I was born in Columbus, Ohio, and I was raised in San Diego, California, and I spent a lot of my time around a Southern grandmother from Tennessee. So I have a mixture
Come on.
of the South, the West Coast, and then, you know, up top, most people don't want to talk about Ohio.
She kind of
Midwest.
Southwestern. She's Southwestern. You know, if you had
South,
to
Midwest,
name a whole-
West Coast, so a little bit of everything.
she's Southwestern. You know, how about that?
What was it like growing up through your childhood?
Oh wow!
No worries.
What was it like growing up in childhood? You want him to go ahead and answer the
Me?
question where he from, and then we can.
Oh my
we can,
gosh.
you know.
Well, okay. I always like to tell folks I'm from up south. Okay, that's what I say because I was born and raised basically in South Carolina. So Orangeburg, South Carolina. For anybody who's listening, that's my hometown. Born and raised and been all over the world. But yeah, that's what I claim. I'm an old country boy, born on a dirt road. You know. Yes. Sir.
So, as far as how my upbringing was, it was rough. I have a brother and a sister on my mom's side, and a brother and a sister on my dad's side. So both my parents wasn't married. And I'm the oldest. It's kind of interesting. I'm the oldest, and both my brothers is around the same age, and both my sisters are around the same age. But it was rough. But what I will say is that I'm grateful for the childhood experience that I had because it's taught me a lot. I've grown a lot, and with that being said, God uses me to be able to help other people and kids that are going through things in their life. So,
I am the youngest of my mother's children, I grew up. Basically, it was her and I. My eldest sister grew up with us. My grandfather was the father that I had until he died when I was 7 years old. So it was rough, tough, kind of one of those things where I lived in what you would call a foster home, but I wasn't a foster kid. So it's a little unique when you see people coming in and out for different reasons. And I could say that, you know, it can be very challenging because as a child in a home, you don't really pay attention to the day-to-day. I had the unique position to pay attention to that because there were other people that were in our home and other people that had a schedule, had to be here, had to be there, had to be downtown, whatever the case might be. So it was certainly a unique position to be in. I can say that to all of your guests and to both of you that, you know, one of the things that we learned through all of that, and my wife, Lady Q, said that very eloquently, you know, and I'll sum it up, it's really not how you start, it's how you finish. And on this side, we have an opportunity to not only do that inventory, look at how we were raised and look at the pieces that we brought together, but her and I being married, you know, we both have backgrounds coming together to kind of make one future. So sometimes we don't agree on things, but we have to sit down and talk about it or find a way to make that work that it doesn't make her feel like what she has is less or make me feel like what I have is less. We both have input in our children's lives, in each other's lives, and that kind of thing. So again, my true belief is it's not how you start, it's how you finish. You know? So.
We have a question from Michelle Dale. I don't know who it's directed to relay. It says, Nevia, you know what that is? Asking, when did he start learning French and what prompted him to learn?
Me learning French. Okay. Well, my mother speaks 7 languages and 21 dialects, and she is currently working as a contractor for Social Security, so she translates languages for them, Spanish, French, all of that. So a lot of that was kind of one of those things, you know, my mom is from the island kind of thing, so, you know, you can kind of learn language from what they're telling you, travel, you know, just kind of that way. But I was inspired to learn French by living all over the world. So I went to Toulon, France. I've been to France a few times, and it was just one of one of those languages that's real smooth, like Jamaican. It's, just no matter what you say in French, it's just so smooth. So it was one of those things where I didn't stay rooted in it because I actually have a friend now two friends actually, who speak French. So I'm going to try to get back into it. But it was just one of those things that was just a spark in me to learn it because it's just so, you could say anything in French and it's just so smooth. So that was one of the reasons that I really desire to do it, because it's just such a beautiful language. Even when you count, like, du toi, it's just 1, 2, 3. It's so beautiful.
I only know 2 words. Oui.
Merci,
oui.
Merci. Merci beaucoup.
Je t'aime.
Oui. Savez?
Je t'aime.
Je t'aime. Okay. But, again, that's why I did that. Because it's just such a, for this show, I'll say a very beautiful language. very beautiful language. So.
What's your favorite restaurant?
Well.
My favorite restaurant? Wow. Lately it's been fluctuating. But right now I would say the Cheesecake Factory is like, yes, the Cheesecake Factory is my favorite as of right now. It changes sometimes.
Is there some bonding there just now?
Yes.
Yes, that
certainly
cheesecake.
Certainly a connection to.
Have you had the chocolate cake?
No, I just ate their food.
Yeah.
You have to try the chocolate cake.
Yes.
For
me, I like the ethnic lines. So, I do enjoy it. Don't make the mistake.
Now you asked me my favorite type of food, and that's different.
Yeah.
It's Mexican. It's
But what I like is Thai food. I like Thai. I like the creaminess of the coconut milk and all of those things, and just kind of takes me back to that. So, back to Thailand, I visited twice. Well, more than twice, but down in Phuket Island and Pattaya Beach as a part of my military career in the Navy. I had a chance to visit Thailand. So certainly one of those things that, kind of connects me back to that.
What's your favorite food?
Oh, wow. If I had to pick one thing, I would say tomatoes. I really like tomatoes. There's nobody that didn't know me.
I have no idea how much he likes tomatoes. He eats them like grapes, like apples, like grapes.
Yes.
He eats them like the little ones. He eats them like grapes.
Different kinds, and kind of got deep into understanding the difference between heirloom and that kind of thing. So I really like tomatoes. So that's my favorite food.
My favorite food.
I'm geeky too. I like rice. Can I say that? But Carolina boy.
Anything curry chicken, curry goat. If it's curry, as long as it's not pork,
let's go.
I'm gonna eat it.
Yes, that's true.
Brother Milton on the other side of the camera pointing out my sisters of faith. So, just to share with you, I am Evangelist Laquana Glaster, and God impressed upon me to start Sisters of Faith a number of years ago. And the whole idea of Sisters of Faith is to encourage, inspire, to be there for other women, to help build other women up, to bear them up as they go on this journey with Jesus. And so January the 11th, 2019 at 7 p.m., Sisters of Faith is having a women's conference, and it's called What's in Your Purse. And we will be at Divine Remnant of Truth at 2487 South Volusia Avenue. I would love to see you there. And please, please, please register. It's free. Why not? And you will register at www.wiyp2019.eventbrite.com.
Tell your friends.
Tell your friends, tell your cousins, tell your neighbors, tell your co-workers, tell your mama,
tell the people you
tell
don't
your
like.
auntie.
Some folks you don't like, tell them too. Tell everybody.
If you need to get rid of some baggage, and you know somebody that need to get rid of some baggage,
What's
you
in
need
your
to tell
what?
them.
What's in your purse?
What's in your purse?
So Kyla, you telling everybody to come, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we
Because
want
Kyla
coming
said you
too.
must come, right?
Yes.
Absolutely. That's wonderful.
Well, we're ready for our topic.
So our topic today is Are cell phones disturbing like family bonding?
That's a fantastic question, Jaydin. Jaydin, wow, is, let me say that in my head. I have to move that around a little bit. Is cell phones or smartphones, the usage, driving, like putting wedges in between families? Is that the idea? Tell me and say it again for me. You know, I'm an old man. I got a lot of miles. Come on, talk to me. Say it.
Cell phones disturbing like family.
So are cell phones disturbing families? I would say, you know, it's almost a pandemic that cell phones, there are more cell phones than there are people in the world. You know, that's probably, you can Google that. You know, most of your people can Google that. There are more cell phones. I think that if the home is not well managed and you don't give your children or your family a reason to gather and to get together, then it can be a challenge. Kids could be drawn into that. You know, social media is what it is. It's social media, whether you like it or not. It's here. It's alive. It's breathing. It's living. It's drawing people into it. So I would say it could very well be a problem if you allow it to be a problem. I think that the mother and father and whatever the dynamic of the home is, that, you know, that is explained and it's talked about, and knowing that even my wife and I, obviously we didn't grow up with that, but we're a part of it. So we have more to offer than parents who started off in that, and that's all they really know. So we grew up with board games. We grew up with, you know, watching movies together and that type of thing, which is, you know, normal family stuff, but at least for us. So I would say that just kind of, I want to straddle the fence right there. It could be, yes, but at the same time, no, Jaydin, it's impossible for anything to take over if you don't allow it. So I would say, in my thinking, I would stay on the, you know, the fence based on the question, not my house, but based on the question, that it's very possible that it could be an issue if it's not regulated the right way, because I know kids influence their friends. So if you got a kid who grows up in a home with both the parents or whatever the case might be, they may talk about phones very differently than a kid who has to get dressed and go to school by themselves every day. They might see it differently. So, but that's certainly a great question. I really like that. That is the smartphone, this pandemic, is it disturbing the family unit? That's a great question. It's a good question.
Now, I would say, because the question is it disturbing the family unit or the bonding? I would say statistically, yes. When I've been in a restaurant and I look over and I see the dad on the cell phone, his 3-year-old on the iPad, his 12-year-old on the iPhone, and they're all sitting at the table together and they should be talking and eating, but everybody has a device in front of them and their food is in front of them. They can't even eat because they're on the device. And I sat in a restaurant one day and I watched this happen, and I watched them eat in between, no conversation at all. When it was time for them to leave, they were still in their devices. Even the little one, the dad grabbed the little one's hand and he's pulling him while he's still on his device. So overall, statistically, I would say yes, it is destroying the bonding within families. Like Travis said, that it's not our family. Because truth be told, that when we sit at our dinner table and our children that are at the dinner table, all phones have to be put up. No one is allowed to use their phone at the dinner table, because that's the time when families should be coming together and they should be talking to one another. This is when you find out whether or not your child had a good day at school, or, you know, if somebody's going through something. And so for us, there's a time that the cell phones and the devices are put up. But statistically, yes, because people are constantly on their devices. People have accidents because they're too busy on their devices. And all of us have seen the picture that's been posted on Facebook where everyone is sitting around the table on a device. And so it shows you that this is the world we're in. Everybody isn't focused on social media. How many likes do I have on Facebook or on Twitter? Or how many shares do I have? How many views do I have? People care more about that than really what's going on inside their home. So statistically, the family bonding is being destroyed.
Yeah, that's an excellent question. I
Yes.
really appreciate you. I hope that your viewing audience is listening to that, because that is something that we have to contemplate.
Yeah.
We should be thinking about that
Yeah,
constantly.
Kayla.
So, I love my phone. But
All right now.
when it comes to like you said, when going out to eat or things like that, like our family, we always talk and we stay there for an extra amount of time talking.
Right.
And we just get together, we play, talk, we have fun, because that's what you're supposed to do.
Right.
Yeah.
We don't stay on the phone like that unless you have a call
Right.
or anything important. But other than that, we're not on social medias, worrying about what's on the device instead of what's in front of us.
In front of
So
us.
we always get together and we bond, we laugh, we joke, and yeah, that's what we do.
That's
And that's
fantastic.
awesome. I wish more people were doing that.
Yes, especially, and that's a great example that you're setting. Even though we're doing this on social media, it's very important to manage your life and have balance.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So, like what she said, we joke and laugh and play and stuff. When we're eating, we don't go on the electronics and stuff. So, I like my devices. I'll be on them like the whole weekend, but I'll go outside to play sometimes. But I think it is destroying some of the bonds, because like everyone else said, people could be talking about their day and stuff,
Yeah.
but instead they're on their phones.
Right.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree with that. But you know, we have kids too, so sometimes we let them take their stuff outside. You can go outside on your iPad for a little while. You know, getting some fresh air. Don't even know it. You know, things are happening, but sometimes it's like that. You know, we got to meet them in the middle. It's not what we were raised up in, but because it's a part of their lives, we want to. Hey, we know this is a part of what you are, but we're going to give you a part of what we were too. You know, that kind
Plus,
of thing.
we have children that don't really like to really go outside. Like our oldest son, he didn't like to go outside and play. He was always had a book. And then our youngest son, he
Well,
likes to go outside, but
dig
he
in the dirt.
likes to dig holes
In the ground.
in the ground.
Yeah.
So he's constantly digging holes. So you
Yeah.
know, we have children that do things that other kids are
Yeah.
not doing.
Right.
We're almost at the end of our show now, but I have a question to throw to our guests and to
Yes.
our host, and it's this: would you ever consider fasting from your phone and devices for 24 hours?
Yes.
Okay. This is for everybody.
Yeah.
That's an everybody question. Go ahead.
How long would you want? A 24-hour whole weekend, just 2 days of not being on a phone, don't look at it, don't use it, or iPads, or TV, everything for like,
Just deep breathing.
yeah.
I've done that before. Maybe not the TV, but last weekend I had to do. I was in the parade and I had to do a photo shoot and some other stuff. So I didn't really have any time to play with my stuff. So I kind of.
Okay, but deliberately doing that, where you decide.
Intentionally not
Yeah.
doing it. Putting it down
I could,
on Friday and picking it back
So
up.
I'm challenging you to do that for 24 hours.
Yeah, but I'm not allowed to play during the week, so.
I'm doing that now. I'm saying I haven't been on social media for so long. The only thing I've probably been doing is playing games, or I love to watch movies, and that's actually mainly what I do. Reading, I'm not a fan of reading at all, but I do it sometimes.
Okay. Go ahead, Jenny. No, go ahead. Finish up.
I was just gonna say that I like to read.
He likes to read.
Very nice.
That's
Yeah.
cool. Would I consider fasting from my phone
Just an experiment for like 2 days.
for 2 days? See, right now it's kind of hard because I've been advertising my conference. Honestly, okay, let's talk about what I really do on my phone. I am constantly working on my phone for church or for ministry purposes. I'm constantly doing flyers, editing, working, because I'm not really that big of a social media person.
Okay, 24
So,
hours then. That's
24 hours, and on top of it, because you asked about
in
the
the midst of
question,
everything that you're doing, if you could be taken away from your phone
could I do it for 24 hours?
because your health could just you can't do anything. So why is it when we're in a position of health, why can't we fast then from it?
You talking about from the phone?
Yes, just
Now,
social media, everything.
I can fast from my phone.
24 hours.
And I have fasted from my phone. And to be honest with you, I don't even watch TV. I don't watch TV at all. And only way I honestly know what's going on is if my husband say, "Hey, did you know such and such happened on the news?" Or the pastor be preaching about something that happened. And then at that time is when I'll be like, well, okay, well, let me at least go on my device and find out what's going on. I don't know what's on TV. I don't know about new movies. I have a device that I watch shows on periodically, but I don't even watch TV.
And I ask her because, you know, like, for example, a couple or sisters or siblings, if you're out for that day, the only time you talk is to each other. Mm-hmm. Nobody talks. If you want to talk to me, don't call me from the bedroom or text me from the bedroom.
Right.
My mom will do that. And it's not far. Calling, are you in? I'm in the house. Yeah, I know. So I'm just saying, you know, people actually do that.
They do that. And I'm not going to sit up here and say that we don't do it. We do it, but not to the extent that that's our everything, because we actually talk to our children. We actually sit down and we have conversations and we engage them.
Yes.
I ask them every day when they come in, how was your day? What did you do today? What did you learn today? What did you get out of your day? Now having a 6-year-old, he tells me he doesn't remember what he did. And then eventually he'll tell me what he did. Our 13-year-old, he'll tell me what he chooses to tell me. But, you know.
Okay, just one quick thing.
Yes.
Julie Handriza says, "Amen. 100% agree. We as parents need to get our children to get around the table and have time together as a whole."
Yeah, I think, I mean,
and she said we do that in our house.
That's a fantastic question, because again, what are we rooted in? That's really the main thing. Are we rooted into these devices? Are we saying that are they a part of what we do, or is it all that we do?
Or a slave to them?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
And because it's not social media anymore. It's slavery. That's basically what it has become. Yeah. But for me, 24 hours, nothing, no problem. We do the same thing. We share prayers. We do ministry work. People ask for prayers in the inbox, that kind of thing. But just saying for my health and my wealth to put it down, I could put it down longer than that. It's not a problem. And it shouldn't be a problem for anyone to set that example for others. I've been off of social media for a long time. Coming back, people say, we miss you. I miss your prayers. Where you been? This place is crazy. I've been looking for your light, that kind of thing. So, so I do a lot of encouragement, inspiring. I'm we do motivational speaking. I'm also a mentor. In Volusia County schools, I do mentoring in the schools as well. So, that's really, really important for us. We're both retired. We could have easily just sat home and not do anything. But, God put a little fire in us and inspire us to do things. We go in our separate ways sometimes. She does conferencing and that kind of thing. I'm a tennis instructor. Two totally different things. But the platform for it is the same, because we minister, we encourage people, we inspire them with the Word of God, and we hope that God uses us wherever we are. So those are the things that are inspiring.
So final word from...
I just have one more quick thing.
Okay.
So one day I was watching this movie, and it was called A Question of Faith, and it was on Netflix. So this girl was attached to her phone too much, and she was texting and driving. And she worked at some place, and her mom caught her doing it. She told her daughter to stop. And her daughter got an attitude and said, I was just parking. And then this other family has a son who had a basketball game. And his father told him that he would be there to pick him up and watch his game and take him there. But he was a preacher, and when you're a preacher, you don't have that much time. You can't make promises to do all that stuff. Mm-hmm. So one day, the dad was at work, and he couldn't make it. And his son was texting his father, and he was walking down around his school looking for him. And the girl that was too attached to her phone was driving and someone texted her and she picked up the phone. So she was texting and driving, and the little boy was coming right through the street, and the girl ran the little boy over, and then he passed away. So, and there was this other girl who was doing a performance, and she passed out because she had a headache. And since the little boy died, it was something about he donated his heart to her so she could live. So she ended up living, and the man, like, the girl's father was stubborn about it and didn't know that the preacher was donating his son's heart to his daughter, and he wasn't thankful about it. He was very stubborn about it. So he had no clue until he found out, and then they had this whole ceremony about donating money to their son about something, but I couldn't remember. But it was a sad story, but it jumped in and it got better. So
I guess I like that story because it's so important based upon the topic today, that how important it is to not just from a cell phone or technology, being a slave to it, but taking time out from the things that you think are so important sometimes, like work. You know, some people work too much, as you're saying, Kyla. If you had me some time, you probably wouldn't have that boy walking around texting him to try to find out where he was, and hence that happened. So,
and I love what you were saying too about fasting. But one of the other things that we should also encourage is meditate. You know, meditating on the great things, you know, the good things that God has done for us. You know, some people sway in that way, but there's a Bible verse or a great thing that's happened in your life that you know that it wasn't you that did it, but Him that did it, and kind of meditate on those things and pull ourselves away from the busyness of our minds and the busyness of that. So that's something that we should all encourage each other to do. It's not a Western thing. It's not, not an Eastern thing. It's not a Japanese or you know. I just want to be clear on that, because some people think that that's what it is, but it's not. It's about bringing balance to the whole human, the whole man.
Well, a lot of people don't realize that meditation is in the Bible.
Yes.
The Bible talks about meditating.
And
so we miss meditating on the scriptures. You know, in certain cultures, they meditate to empty the mind out. But when we do it, and when we're in Jesus, is to meditate on the goodness of the Lord. Is to meditate on how far God has brought us and what He's doing in our life. And so the Word talks about meditating. So we should be praying and studying, fasting, and meditating on those things that God has placed in our life.
and I believe also the meditation could be in the Eastern sense. So that is a good thing, actually.
Oh, yes,
where you take time to just kind of just empty yourself. Because you're not necessarily that God is not on your mind or in you. It's a God being on your mind is one. God being in your heart is a different thing.
Yeah,
This is true.
You know, the in heart is the most important thing.
Right.
Because in your heart, even if you do not having a thought about God, He's with you.
That's
you know?
right.
And I think sometimes we kind of think certain things are so secular, but they're really very spiritual and really needed. You know, to this. Empty your mind, relax. It's a relaxation, so to speak. All right, so we are time. You want to thank your sponsors again and thank your guests.
Thank you for coming.
Oh my gosh, it was certainly, I can say for me, certainly our pleasure to be here.
Definitely.
I hope I get invited back again with some exciting questions.
Yes.
And I certainly appreciate you both for what you're doing. Continue to do it. We're gonna try to support you as best as we can where we can. And again, thank you from my heart. Thank you so much for having us here, and thank everybody out there. Don't forget to hit like and love.
Thank you, Kyla.
Jaydin.
Thank you, Jaydin.
Yes, hit like and love for them, please.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit yourself. Don't let your phones control you, and have a good afternoon.
Control your phone.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, don't let your phones control you. You control it. Very nice.
So thank you for watching this video. We hope you all have a good night and enjoy the rest of your day. And we will see you in our next video. So
Stay there.